What is going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, we're gonna finish off doing the starter because I've got it in, it's wired up, it's ready to go, but we've hit another little stoppage. So you remember in the last video how I relaxed the headers under the studs so I could like zip tie it out of the way more or less. It was perfect. I've got like both bolts up in there. I turned out like I got very lucky. Like when I stripped out those threads, I only pulled out like the first 3 threads kind of thing. So I just swapped the bolts over, they both worked, they both went tight, so put a bit of thread locker in there too, full send should be right. So the starter's in there 100%, and I've tested it and it is insane. It legit spins the engine probably more than 5 times quicker, which is mind blowing. I'll show you guys in a sec, but the issue that we've run into now is when I went to go finish off the install, I clipped the zip tie that held the headers in. When they swung across to where they need to sit, boom, they arced out on the positive terminal of the starter, shooting sparks everywhere, nothing major. But that is now our issue. So I'm going to attempt to pull out the header today. I'm going to shorten that positive terminal just by a touch, just by a mil or so. And then we're gonna heat wrap the headers too. Probably give them a nice little whack and try and just put enough of a dent in there so that it's not going to touch the starter. So it's gonna be a fun job today, real fun job today. So we'll jump into it now. First off, I will show you what the starter's like now because it is mind-blowing. Alrighty, so pretty much because nothing really happens when you're turning over the engine, this is the only thing that spins. You remember, like, I'll try and find an old video, or if not, it should be in the last video, one of the other videos. But you guys all know how slow it was turning over. So I'll just turn the power on now. Listen to how bloody fast it cranks over now. Okay, go. Okay. How insane is that? Literally like 5 times faster. But as you see, right there where both red leads go to, that's the stud. And then that's the header where it hits. So we're in for a bit of a shit time because now that I'm looking at this now, I see that the bolt doesn't even make it to the end of the stud, so I've got nothing to shave down on the positive terminal. So I guess we're just gonna have to try and whack it or something because, yeah, it's a shit time. So I thought this was going to be an easy fix, but it's kicking my ass right now. I'm trying to drop the headers, but I need to get the steering column out of the way, like the steering rack. And just here, it is, if it would focus, just here is being an absolute jerk and it's not coming off. So I'm going to let it soak in some WD-40. So I just cleaned out this oil pan. I'm going to drop the oil, since I'm here, have a look at it, because if it's good enough anyways, I'm just going to put it back in. So we'll do that and just check it because we actually started the engine and got it like actually a bit warm and everything. It would have flushed some stuff around, so we'll check it out and have a look. I mean, it's not going to hurt. See that tiny little bit of gunk right there, that worries me. So I understand it would be very milky because I turned it on and idled it, so the milky's fine because that's just methanol, and there's bubbles in it. That's all bubbles, that's not metal. It's just the black, or is that just sludge? Like what Brad was saying, it'll come out a bit yucky. I mean, maybe we're fine. A little bit of methanol in it. A little bit of sludge that came from it. Actually, it's really clean now. Maybe we were just cleaning it out. It looks great now. So yeah, Brad did say that our next couple oil changes would be a little bit messy, but seeing that it's getting towards the end of the oil and it is now clean and clear as, and the center of the oil is all fine, so you can see like a little bit of like the milkiness, as I was saying, that's the methanol. This would be some of like the, I don't know, just that little bit of muck that was coming out with it that they say, like Aaron and Brad were saying that's normal with like running in a brand new engine. Sometimes you do get some yucky weird shit. So that's what that could be, along with the methanol that's separating, pushing to the sides. I think we're pretty freaking good to go, which is good, really nice. And yeah, all of these are just bubbles as it's coming out, but we'll pour it out and see how it goes. But judging by how good the stream is coming out there, and obviously with a light on it, you can't see any metallicness to it. I'd say we're bloody good to go. Okay, another minor success. After fighting and lubricating and all that good stuff, got the steering column off. So we are back in business now. I've dropped the header. We can pull it out so I can start whacking away at it. And it's good because this is the harder side to get out, because you do have to move the steering column and like get everything out. So once that's out, it's good, but this is the harder side. So since I'm taking these ones out to heat wrap them, I'm going to do the other side as well, just so they match, obviously. And the other side, you literally pull the spark plug leads off, undo the bolts, and then just yeet, take it straight out. So that one's very easy. So very happy we got this side out. All right, so we got the header here. And as you can see, literally like this is my entire exhaust. But the thing I was worrying about was I was like, oh, how am I gonna mark out where I need to massage it so that it moves around it? And then I was like, oh, if it was arcing out, it should have left a mark. So it did, thankfully, where it tried to weld itself together. So now we know, we just bash it there, caress it, get it to move a little bit in our favor, and we'll be good to go. And then I'll heat wrap them. See, the heat wrapping, not only will it keep some of the heat away from it, heat out of the engine bay, it'll make it so that there is a physical barrier between the metal, between the positive terminal and the exhaust. So just more stuff to make it a bit better. Another win. Thought it was gonna be a lot harder than it actually was. Bashed out tiny bit in there, just so that it's not gonna touch, more than enough, and it won't affect the flow. I did hit kind of, you can see where there's a bit of a flat spot across there, but I was checking about it, and the entire diameter of the pipe, moving it that much isn't going to do anything. I've literally just flattened it instead of where it was round. So it's not, it really shouldn't affect any of the flow because that pipe is so thick and so round. Yeah, that shouldn't do anything. So now I'll set up a time lapse and we'll heat wrap these. As you can see, I'm wearing gloves. I made the mistake of not wearing gloves when I wrapped the starter motor, and I had like fiberglass splinters for like a week. So I'm gonna start wrapping these now, set up a time lapse. Hopefully it looks really cool. All right, straight into it. Alrighty, so there is a little gap just here, but she'll be all right. I did buy some hose clamps so that I could go, like, just so I could really fix in these ones, and I was gonna put one here, but I just used their ones anyways, but just so you could really tighten them down. But I'm an idiot, and I got the type of hose clamps that are like to slide over a hose. These ones don't they don't come out, like you can't unthread these, so waste of money, but I guess, I don't know, there'll be something I could possibly use them for down the line, so I'll keep them anyways. But this is looking pretty good. And then on the side where it mounts, or where it matters, I mean, which is just about here. It's all super, like it's double laid. I made sure I was like 50-50 on the overlapping so that it's all mint. So I'm gonna chuck this bad boy back in and see how good she fits. While I'm here, because I can actually reach it down at the starter, I'm deciding to take this main power cable off, because that the heat wrap that's on there now is ugly. Never liked it. I don't know why they did it and thought that that was okay. So while it's off, I'm gonna use, again, some of the thinner heat wrap, and I'm gonna wrap that up and make it look nice and neat. So that should look good. There you go, much better. Now it looks thick and untidy, but that's just because of the mess that they made. Pretty much had to go around it kind of thing, so it gets a bit chunky. It's not loose, it's very tight, but it just looks so much neater. And then I rerouted it behind instead of in front, so it should be mint. Alrighty, job done. All the spark plug boots back on, all the leads and everything. Steering column's back in, dipsticks back in, headers are bolted on. Everything should be sweet. And, oh yeah, I turned the power on before and there was no sparks or anything, so we should be good. Should. Well, at least we know if there's an electrical fire on this side, we know what it is. Alrighty, everything should be good to go now. I'll lower her back down, fill her up with oil. Seems though we dropped most of it, and yeah, should be good to go. Fire up the starter, see how she sounds, see how she goes. Alrighty, beautiful. Now the key, I chucked the key over here so that I wouldn't accidentally chuck it in. Well, I had no oil in it to test the starter and something, so I left it in here. I knew I would have freaking done it. So, if there was an issue, you'd hear it click right now. Okay, not that click. Beautiful. Alright, let's see what this is like. Nice. Alrighty, that's a job successfully done. Oh, I mean, it took me a couple days, but I would have done it in a day if I just worked straight at it, but obviously work and other stuff. But I am extremely happy that that's done, because that was going to be a shit job. It was a shit job, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It was still possible, still doable. It's weird, like, now that the car's back on the ground, I actually got so used to, like, how high it was, like, because I jacked it up as high as my jack would let me go, so that I had plenty of room to work under there. It's actually really strange seeing it on the ground now. It looks so bloody, like, it looks like it's in the bloody ground, it's so low. But it is freaking awesome that it's done. And yeah, fingers crossed that, because I bashed in the headers that tiny bit, they physically should not touch, and they have a physical barrier there, so we should never have an issue with that. I've always heard people say, like, don't overcomplicate things with clearances. If it clears, it clears. Simple as that. And they're on two things that will never move. Or if they do move, they're both mounted to the engine, so they're going to move together. That gap will never shrink or grow, kind of thing. So we should never, ever have any issues with that. But if we ever do have an electrical fire under the bonnet in the engine, we know where to first look. So at least that is done, and I'm very excited that that is done. Alrighty, so now that this job's done, I'm actually going to cut over to my brother-in-law's over, like, with Jess and Brendan, because we're beginning to turbo his VESS. So not only are we going to have a blown VE on the channel, or VF, VE, VF, we're going to also have a turbo VE. So super keen. I'm going to jump over that footage now. So what's the conclusion?
I reckon we have to put the turbo on there.
We're like pretty much done. So what's the next step of this now?
We're going to pull out the washer
Reservoir thingy? Do you reckon we'll have to pull off the transcooler? So because this was a police car, yes?
Yeah, ex-police car. They all come with transcoolers on them, apparently.
Yeah, because I was like, wait, when we pulled mine apart, we didn't have this. What was that missing? But yeah, apparently it's a transcooler, so we might have to have that because the intercooler goes in all this space back behind here. So we've already missed half the show because last night we downed too many bevies and just got down into the pull down process, but we're turboing Brennan's VE. That'll probably have to go.
I think a lot of stuff's going to have to go. Could have found the mounting brackets and shit for the actual header tank. Why is it so big for a washer tank?
Pretty sure we're going to have to take the radiator support off so we can actually get to it from behind. Because I'm pretty sure there's 10 mils like on the back of it from memory. You know, I could probably go back and watch my VF front end swap videos and I could actually probably see where the mounts are for them.
That would... oh, yeah, I see.
And yeah, we'd have to take off that scoop shroud thingy.
We might be able to get that, actually. I reckon if we pull really hard, it'll come up.
If you pull most things really hard, they come. So, anyways, we got
different things.
This is one of the Killer Boost entry-level kits. So the bolt-on kit, as it claims. So I don't know how many of these are on YouTube, but we're going to do our best to show the process of doing it. Now, like I said, we've already gone through most of the pages of the pull-down process, but we'll get another Boosty Boy VE. So. And it's another one of the picnic stables. So last night, we were pretty much going through the process of cutting the engine mount so that we can get the manifold in that actually holds the turbo. So we wanted to be able to just see it all in there. So obviously this cooler pipe is just sitting here, but it looks like we did a lot. Looks like we accomplished a lot.
And we did not. We did more drinking.
Yeah, and talking shit. But that's the best bit about building cars.
Well, it's not a daily, so we don't have to worry about having any timeline or anything like that. We just sort of mosey on.
And since this build is more or less just for the fun of it, yeah, we can just enjoy it instead of rushing. That was the shit thing about the wagon. It always felt like we were rushed.
Are you Russian?
No, Australia.
Australia.
Yeah.
Well, you would have, because you got the rotor grids from the 180, which you swapped with the RX-7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not get into that.
Brendan doesn't have a black book of girls. He's got a black book of cars.
Yeah, for the first like 4 or 5 years that I knew Brendan, a car lasted him a week.
One of them didn't even last the day.
Yeah, but
Bought it and sold it and just drove it to the person he sold it to.
that was a 32, wasn't it?
That was a 33. I bought it. This is the price of fucking Skylines these days. I bought a manual 33. All the bullshit, you know, your front mount exhaust. I bought it for $1,500 from Southside. Drifted it all the way back to fucking Northside and sold it for like $3.5 grand.
So you made money burning tires.
So I made money to do burnouts.
And then like with this, like a 2008 or 9.
7 this one.
Oh, so one of the first boys.
Yeah.
This is like Pico's old VE. But 2007 VE SS, and what'd you pick? At the time, these were probably like 20 grand. What'd you pick this up for?
I swapped it for what was it, a VYSS. It had like 250,000 Ks on it. Just completely stock. And, and $2 grand, I think it was, something like that for this thing. And this only had like 150 Ks on it and pretty immaculate.
And didn't you swap an 80 series for that VT or something? Like more or less, you pretty much got this for $2 grand. Give or take.
It probably owed me like $2 grand when I first got it. And then,
Now it's a money pit, kind of like the wagon.
Now I'm going backwards. Well, just the kit alone from Darcy at Killer Boost, it was about 7,700, nearly $8 grand, somewhere in there.
Bolt-on boost.
But they've done a wicked job to be able to, I don't know, with all the power steering relocations with the early VEs and.
Yeah, like the amount of crap that you have to go through. Like, of course, making an entry-level boost kit for a drive-in, drive-out thing where you could take it to Killer Boost, like that's one thing because they know how it's going. But to write it down in pages and pages of, I can't get the next page.
Moist.
Pages and pages and pages of stuff like that is some insane next-level stuff. That's beyond mechanics, and that's actually like I'd clap if I had another hand, but I'm holding the camera, so I'll just give him a hand. Give him a hand. Yeah, don't worry. Did it look as cool as it felt?
Yeah, no, it felt great. No, Darcy's done a wicked job. Just even with turnover, like he told me probably 4 to 5 weeks or something like that, and he ended up turning it over in about 3. Luckily enough, I was actually heading back through Albury at the time and just happened to pick it up on the way. So.
Yeah.
Worked out even better. And he even refunded me the freight, which is what a mad.
Wow, it's the little things. Especially, he's a small business, so that's massive.
I told him to keep it because I kept on annoying him all the time with all my bloody questions. But yeah, they're really good down there. I definitely, once I start getting this all sorted and I start upgrading the turbo kit, I'll be definitely going back there.
Yeah. And when we end up turboing something, and definitely go through Killer Boost because of course it'll be an LS and it'll most likely be in a commie. But I might put this down for a second and assist in any way that I can. Alrighty, so we couldn't get any light into the engine bay. We couldn't see what we were doing. We had these dinky little Costco lights, which are awesome, but can't see shit. So finally got around to taking the bonnet off because VE bonnets weigh a freaking ton. It's not like a VF bonnet where you can literally man it by yourself, especially mine. Bonnet off, almost got the manifold in because you got to cut off the engine mount pretty much. So by the looks of it now, mechanic Brendan is doing the relocation on the power steering, and we got to get around to dropping this so that we can get the washer bottle off and start getting the intercooler ready to go and more fun bits. So yeah, so it took like what felt like days, but we got the front radiator support off, which then got all this shit off, so we can fit the big intercooler. Do you ever watch Mighty Car Mods, or have you ever watched Mighty Car Mods, Brendan?
No.
Oh. You gotta play it like a guitar, or like a fucking, it's not, yeah. No, it's just, no, you gotta do like one big strum, like, elegantly.
It's fucking big.
I said elegantly.
It's fucking elegant as fuck.
Same. It's the same thing.
Can we put it just like in there?
Yeah.
We're gonna need the red support back now. The fucking.
Yeah, what do you actually mount it to? Or do you have to mount it like custom?
It's gonna go. Got brackets there.
I have a funny feeling that this is going to get in the way.
Yeah, but it's gotta sit behind. Yeah.
Like the hard lines here.
That sits back further.
Yeah, we got a problem.
Oh, we got a problem.
I mean,
So we gotta trim.
if we... I can't really even take them out. But I was going to say, instead of trimming, we can just bend, like straighten up around the outside here and go around.
Yeah, I'm looking at where the
the headlight would hit that.
I can't actually push up anymore on the cooler.
So I'm assuming they mean trim all of this section out.
Yeah.
No, because that's how mine fits anyway.
We just have a super low mounted intercooler bay.
Oh, is that a VL?
That's a VL double.
Is that a canary yellow VL?
Oh, bit there one.
Bit
Okay,
there,
literally, like I'll be on.
Fucking on the ground.
It look cool though.
Okay, alright. Yeah, I might try it.
Okay, so
Because if you put it
that's
upside down,
The only annoying thing would be is their cooler piping wouldn't line up.
water got in here and I couldn't charge it until it dried out.
That's gonna be a fun one.
That's a thick boy.
Thick boy.
So a company messaged me the other day. Oh, sorry. And they asked if I
Been in thugging, you bitching and bugging, there's nothing that we got in common. I've been out grinding and hustling, investing this paper, got tired of eating that ramen. All of my music be heat, I ain't missing a beat, I've been blessed with impeccable timing. Watch all them people who friendly, it turn into envy whenever they see that you shining. Okay, I'm